How are we going, folks? Come along, we're gonna go and feed our citrus trees. Have a look at my ligustrum hedge. This is the one we hacked right back down, and look at it, it's back to full glory again. Isn't that gorgeous? Only problem is I've got to prune it every bloody month. Now, fruit trees, for those who haven't pruned their fruit trees, quick tip. If you've got young trees and you want to see spring growth, wait till the heart of winter to prune them. If you've got advanced trees like these, you should have pruned them already, so that's the summer, autumn growth that you cut off on them, so they actually go back into flower in springtime. So give them more time to recover from the prune, let them go dormant, and then come springtime you get lots more flowers. Now over here, for those who don't know, this is our little private gardens. We've got this little quadrangle design going on with the English box. Some people think it's a maze. If you're really only 1 foot tall, yeah, you can use it as a maze. It's nice, but the problem we've had is the grass jumping into the garden beds. We've had cooch and kikuyu sneaking in. Kikuyu, by comparison, is a lot easier to dig up because they're thick runners and they do go deep, but it's easier to pull them out without cutting your fingers off. Whereas the cooch, wiregrass, as soon as you pull it on really hard, if you're not careful, it will cut into your skin. So that's the challenge we've got here in cleaning up this garden bed. We've got the bulk of it out, the root system is still in here. I don't use herbicides which are toxic to the soil and the environment, but rather natural forms and hot boiling water. Well, it can't have cold boiling water, it can only have it hot. So that's what I prefer to use, hot boiling water. Now this is a mandarin tree, if you haven't noticed it already, and you'll notice a little bit of yellowing going on here. See that yellowing going on there, down the older leaves? That's a first indicator to tell you the tree's getting hungry. Maybe a little bit wet underfoot as well, which I did notice here when we were cleaning up. There's a little bit too much moisture. The irrigation is off, the moisture is subsiding, so it's drying out, but in fact it also needs a feed. And the other thing I noticed that a lot of people have been emailing and calling in on the radio, asking a very similar question, and that's bloody citrus leaf miner. And I've gone through this a million times, but some of you may have missed it and still not sure what I'm talking about. This is the slithery line that it leaves behind. That's the larva or larvae. So the adult lays its egg on the leaf, the little larvae hatch, they penetrate and tunnel their way through the leaf, leaving this sort of snail trail or snake-like shape on the leaf, and that causes the leaf to basically curl up, dry up and fall off. It stops its photosynthesis to be effective and then causes the tree to stress out a little bit. And more importantly, the insects come from Southeast Asia Pacific, or that area, that region. It's ventured its way to Australia. It loves a warm to hot climate, but it's found its way down south here in Victoria where we are, and even further southwest where I am basically, where we're generally about 3 degrees cooler than Melbourne, and when it comes to winds, the prevailing winds here are always about 20 k's higher or more extreme than what they are in other parts of Victoria. So we are blowy Vale, if you want to call it that, and you can see now this is a southeasterly wind coming through, so we're going to get the cold front coming through with the rain. But in saying that, the insect is still bloody active. Now, I heard others presenting on radio saying that the insect damage that was caused onto the tree was done in summer, in the warmer parts of the year, which is true. It does do that damage, but I've noticed with new growth, not so much on this one. Well, this is new growth. This wasn't in summer, folks. This growth here is in the last couple of months. So we're talking autumn, so mid to late autumn is where this growth's come out. And I can go and see another citrus tree that's got growth on it now. So you see that vibrant sort of crimson colour leaf developing. That's come out now only in the last couple of weeks, and it too has been attacked. So that's an indicator to tell you that this bloody insect is not only around spring, summer and a little bit of autumn, it's learnt and adapted to our colder climate and is active through this time of the year where it otherwise should be dormant. So keep a sharp eye out for him. What do? Well, you cut this off and you spray it with CGWS. It leaves a white barrier film protecting the tree. That white film is your indicator to know that your tree is well and truly protected. Harmless to the tree, harmless to the fruit, and it does wear off over time with the rainfall that comes through. So if you're in a warm region of Australia, I know South Australian folks, we're out there in the next few days, so make sure you get your orders in if you want the CGWS. You guys have been buying it like there's no tomorrow because your climate there is a lot warmer than it is in ours. And even up to last week, we've had people ordering dozens of these containers for their own personal use. It is active, so look out for it. Don't let it destroy your tree, because what it will do, this tree is lucky because it's already set its fruit from last spring. But if you've got a tree and it's happening through the early spring season, when it comes into flower, it will knock its flowers off, cause the tree to defoliate on top, and then you lose a whole cycle of fruit. You don't want to go through that. So don't ignore it. This time of the year, clean it off, spray it, and this time of the year, feed it. Unlike your fruit trees, your dormant fruit trees, deciduous, they cannot be fed now. They can be, but you shouldn't be, because they're going through the dormant cycle. You can give them a light compost dressing, that's about it. You would feed those later in July, early August. Around July is when I do it. So give them a good top up then, and we'll talk about that later. Whereas now, we're talking citrus, and they've got fruit on. There's a dozen, 2 dozen fruit on this mandarin tree. It needs its food. It's yellowing off. So moisture and a lack of fertilizer or nutrients in the soil is what will happen. So all we're doing is boosting the life in the soil by giving it some black grit. That's our rock mineral that will balance the nutrient release in the soil and also give the tree the calcium that it needs to be able to hold its fruit, develop its fruit, and hold its elasticity, if I said that correctly, so that leaves don't become brittle or the fruit doesn't go really hard on the outside and dry inside. So you get that extra bonus of nutrients and moisture developing. And topping that off is superfood. Now, for those who've used superfood, I know you're converted. It is a magic product or fertilizer, natural based, nature made. We do nothing but feed the beautiful little larvae that we have digesting the food to turn it into this wonderful frass. Packed with chitin, which is the exoskeletal shell of the insect larvae as it sheds its skin and grows into this next stage before it becomes an adult fly. Now this skin here is what we call chitin. It triggers the plant to think it's actually there's a predator in the vicinity of the plant, if not on the plant, and get ready because it's going to try and attack it. So the plant actually kicks off this enzyme that becomes more resilient against insect attack. And to do that, it needs to feed. So we trick the plant to thinking it's been attacked. In this case, there is citrus leaf miner, but in any other case like the salvias, you put that around the base of the salvias like this, the plant will think, oh bugger, there's an insect coming or a pest coming. Let's get ready. So they start feeding. And what do they feed on? The superfood and the microbes in the soil that produce those wonderful nutrients. So when it comes to, and Leia also likes the smell of the superfood. And she's all new to this, only 10 months, 11 months old, and she's like, this is heaven in here, and she'll try and lick it all up. So it's safe for animals, not that I recommend you feed it to them. Get your fertilizer on your trees, look after citrus leaf miner, folks, protect them well. And if you want the best combination of fertilizers for citrus trees, you can't go past black grit and superfood. Available on our website. Thebarton, folks, South Australia, we're going to be there on the 18th and 19th. This is, what's today, Monday? We'll be there Saturday, Sunday, open at our outlet there. So if you haven't got your orders in, you've got till Wednesday to get your orders in so we can pack the truck and ship it up there so you can come and collect it and say hello and get plenty of this wonderful stuff. Vasili'sGarden.com is where you find us. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you tomorrow. From me, Vasili, Maresi. Yes, folks, I'm feeding the English bucks. I know they need a feed. You've all told me that, so I'm doing it now. I'm right here. See that? Black grit, superfood. Lots of it going down. Maresi.